So get ready for another dynamic journey as we wake up the world to a new era of opportunities and empowerment. Ladies and gentlemen, President Larry Iver. Larry Iver. Larry Iver. Larry Iver.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Wake Up Show Chicago. My name is Dr. Larry Ivory, and I am the President and CEO of the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce and Chairman of the Board of the National Black Chamber of Commerce in Washington, D.C. We have an exciting show like usual. And let me start off with because we got such a jam-packed session. I want to get right to the point and get right into the business at hand. But let me introduce first of all my co-host, the one and only Adana Ray. She's not just a director, a partner, but she also is on another show in the morning. I mean, not in the morning, but in the evening, from three to five or 3 to 7, something like that, Ladonna.
It's three to
So
six.
let me just introduce Ladonna Ray. Ladonna.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Wake Up Show Chicago, powered by Wind Creek Chicago Southland, and should I say, powered by Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce and sponsored by the Wind Creek Chicago Southland. We're so happy to have you guys. Make sure you share the show. You are on Facebook. Go ahead and share the show. If you have the YouTube link, share that as well. And yes, I'm on Monday through Thursday with the afternoon show on WVON, and that is from 3 to 6 Central Standard Time, guys. We have so much fun. But watch this. I want to introduce our guest host, which is actor, director, writer, and human rights consulting. I want to say activist because you've been activating lately for real. And also human rights consultant Lorenzo T. Hughes. Good morning.
Welcome. Thank you, and welcome to the Wake Up Show, everybody.
All right. So we've got a couple of things. We're going to have little known Black history facts. Lorenzo, you're going to give us that. And then after that, we've got a Washington update with Phoenix strategies. And then we're going to get to our special guest, which is Tony Okhiria with remote work. So let's get started. What's that little known history fact that you got for us?
Well, let me say
Absolutely.
this.
Oh, go ahead, Larry. Sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I said absolutely. I'm excited to hear what he gonna lay on us.
All right.
I want to say this, and I'm hoping this is something that we can do ongoing, so that we don't get into this habit of where we're celebrating who we are during a specific time of the month. We always hear about Black History Month, where we celebrate, what it is, our accomplishments, and what it is that we do one time of the month or one time every 2 months out of the whole year. But I want to start out by saying this, that never before in the pages of history, or in the world for that matter, has a nationality of people been so overwhelmingly consumed by the ways and the customs of another culture of people. And today I just want to bring this little known Black history fact, uh talking about the Nicholas brothers, Fayard and Harold Nicholas. Fayard and Harold Nicholas are two brothers who, in the 1920s, attended numerous vaudeville performances and began imitating and practicing those performances, so much so that they became proficient in tap and dance. The older brother, Fayard, coached and trained his younger brother in putting together these routines of tap, these dance numbers, where it gained them the opportunity to perform with people like Duke Ellington and his quartet. Now, see, in the 1940s, they impressed audiences with their style of dance that they referred to as tap. Classical tap. And that style of classical tap consisted of tap, jazz dance, ballet, and acrobatics. Now, if you've ever went and watched any of these type of performances, ballet, uh, or jazz dance, and just to imagine that being combined in one style of dance, it's an amazing type of dance. And see, I myself was new to these two these two gentlemen, so it was great for me to do a little bit of research on them, because then I realized that I have seen them before. I have seen them before, but we never knew who these men were. And these type of things happen when we start to realize, how I said before, that we've become so accustomed to living under the cultural norms of another culture. that we don't even realize the people who have historically impacted our lives. And this is just something that in history that society or white society during that time always kept hidden, especially Hollywood, because they had the opportunity to perform in, over 50 Hollywood movie productions where Hollywood cut a lot of their scenes out because definitely in the South, they did not want to see people of color, dominating the TV screens. Now, this is, if you don't know who they are, see, in 1991, if you've seen the Five Heartbeats, there was a scene in the Five Heartbeats where um, the leader brought in someone to coach them on their dance numbers. His name was Sarge. So that role was Sergeant Ernest Johnson in the Five Heartbeats, who came in. If you seen the movie, he came into the front room and they say, "Look, we brought somebody in to help you with your numbers." And uh, uh, the leader of, I think his name was Dresser, he was upset. He was like, "How you gonna bring somebody in without telling me?" And he said, and Sarge said, "Show me your best number." And he did his dance, and he said, "Just as I thought, that ain't sheet." I ain't gonna say the whole
Mm.
word. And he said, and he went and did that dance number. He went and did that dance number. That was
I
Harold
want to play the
Nicholas.
clip. I want
I
to play
wish
the
we
clip.
had the.
I
I
have the
would.
clip, but
Oh, you
I'm
can.
gonna try and
Okay.
keep talking. I'm gonna
But that
throw
was
that clip
that
in there.
was Harold Nicholas. Now, I wish that I knew what I know now so that I could have shown a little bit more appreciation of who this gentleman was, because even back then when we think about ourselves historically and we don't have the opportunity, as LaDonna always say, to give people their flowers while they're living. We don't we it and after they pass, then we want to celebrate them, then we learn later who these people were. It just saddens my heart. Um but and and when I did my research and I started looking, climbing down this rabbit hole, it brought to mind to me what happens when we don't start our own businesses. We don't start our own media platforms. We don't start our own production companies. We get shut out of opportunities, and don't have the opportunity to reach massive amounts of people
Just as
with
I
our
thought.
stories.
That
And
ain't shit.
Oh, well, there's cussing in there.
oh,
Yeah, I was
that
trying to get
that
rid of
word.
it.
Hold
Yeah,
it. Hold it.
yeah, that didn't work. But anyway, yeah,
But
Now pay
that's the
attention.
clip.
you
Come on,
know,
Heartbeats, let's go. Gentlemen, I got somebody I want you to meet. Sergeant Ernest Johnson, one of my oldest and finest buddies from the Army. He's here to help us with the choreography.
What you talking about, Jim? I do the choreography, man.
That's your boy Harry Lennox.
Dresser, he's not here to take your place, man. He's here to just help out.
What can he teach me? Man, if you didn't like what I was doing, you could have come and talked to me. Instead of going behind my back, bringing in some old drunk.
Stop right there. Now don't let your mouth get you into something your ass can't get.
All right,
so
that's the clip.
so now they have since passed. I believe Fayard, he was born 1914 and he died in 2006. Harold was born 1921 and he passed in 2000.
Mm-hmm.
And I today I want us to be able to celebrate them, as we go into Black History Month. And in closing, I just want to say, by as the from the words of Marcus Aurelius, the best revenge is not to be like your enemy.
Mm, that's deep.
Word.
That's heavy.
Hey,
So,
word up.
Larry, tie
Hey,
that in.
hey, let me drop a little nugget on you also, real quick. Is that Fred Astaire, who was one of the iconic dancers in
Yes.
the white community, said that when he saw those brothers dance, that he had never seen dancing like that, and claimed them as the world's greatest dancers in the world.
Yes.
They were just awesome. Hey, thanks a lot, Lorenzo, for the insight And we look forward to you bringing insight every Saturday, a brief insight of our accomplishment. So, Ladonna, let's keep on rolling.
We're going to keep it moving. You know, it's so exciting that we have our individuals from Phoenix Strategies for their updates in Washington. However, we're gonna kind of we may have to redo we have to do that next week, just because she may have trouble getting on, and I don't see her logged in just yet, and that's Aisha Mills. So let me move on to our next guest. But before I do that, I want to give everybody the chance, then the opportunity to give us a call. It's 773 591 1690. As usual, you can give us a call and post your comments on Facebook as we progress throughout this entire show. So we are taking your calls and we want to hear from you. Now, on to our next guest, remote dot working. I love that I was we had a meeting earlier this week, Larry, and in that meeting we were able to talk to uh Tony, and he's gonna kill me, but Okhiria, I think I'm saying that right. I'm sorry, Tony Okhiria with remote dot working exists to reduce business failure when local labor costs are the primary barrier to continued operation. So I want to give him the floor and welcome him to the show.
Hey,
Welcome,
Ladonna,
Tony.
before you bring him on real quick, let me just say this: is that one of the statistical data that we look at from a chamber perspective is, you know, our ultimate goal is to grow businesses. And here's some data that some people may know, may not know. But in the state of Illinois, just the state of Illinois, 70% of our business do less than $50,000 a year. Now that's a problem because it means that we have a lot of solopreneurs. And the question is, how do we get from being solopreneurs to becoming iconic companies that generate millions of dollars of revenue? Because when that happens, it has enormous impact upon our communities, upon our families. And, it's important for us to understand that because at one time we had millionaires and more successful business. And so Tony has, in my opinion, one of the greatest solutions to how to scale up. And I'm excited to have him on the show. So, hey, Tony, talk to us. Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you decided to start this company and what it is that you guys do.
Very good. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we
Yes,
can.
we can.
So, okay.
We can't
I'm
see
hearing
him.
myself.
Can you hear
Are you there?
Madonna?
Yeah, I can hear, but I can't see him.
Okay, she can't see you. You got
Yes.
your cameras off.
Okay.
There
Okay.
This is
he
better.
is.
Oh, okay. Good. So, first of all, apologize. For some reason, my Comcast is down, and so I have to use my phone. Okay.
Okay.
Uh, are you guys hearing an echo? I'm hearing an
No,
echo
no,
on
not
my
on
Coming
end.
our
through
end.
great.
Yeah.
On our end, you're coming
Okay.
through great.
Hmm.
Okay. Very good. Uh, Good morning, everybody. First of all, grateful for the opportunity to share, what we do. Okay. Um, what I tell people oftentimes is that there are many businesses that um, just don't have the opportunity to reach their potential. Okay. They spend a lot of time, a lot of money, and then have to sort of give up at some point. Okay. And so, what we try to do is create the conditions for businesses to grow and reach their full potential. Okay. And we advocate that businesses should look at things differently to solve the challenges that faces them. So that's a big part of what we do. Yeah.
All right.
Well, one of the things when we think about Tony, the work that you're doing and the value that you're bringing to the table is that being able to invest not only because most people don't know, and you shared with me that major companies were using this type of human capital 40, 50, 60 years ago, where they were able to get talented people to work for them at a very reasonable price, which allowed them to grow, expand, build their infrastructure. Give us a little bit of why that's so important, a little bit from a historical basis,
Okay.
and kind of why you created the company to do what they're doing. And I'm going to introduce later on in the show the young lady we hired, and we will be hiring a number of people from your organization. And then walk us through a
Okay.
little bit how this whole process works. When
Very good.
people are looking for someone, what you guys do in order to find them, and then walk them through the process.
Okay. Thank you. So, a couple of things. So, we have a team of people. There's about 50 of us that wake up every day that work for remote.work. Um, my job is just to be one of the team members. Okay. So the whole notion of looking for different ways to grow your business by looking outside of the borders started back in the 60s. GE started it. They opened up facilities in Mexico and in South America in order to sort of save money and grow their business. Then later on in the 70s and the 80s, EDS, Ross Perot's company, started doing it in India and Philippines. Okay. And so then, in the 90s, almost all the Fortune 500 companies, Fortune 1000 companies started looking outside, to scale, and grow their business. Okay. And so when we look at this problem 4 years ago, 5 years ago, there are about 80, 80% of small businesses in the US doesn't have an employee. Okay. It's just the owner working. Okay. Then when you take that number and look at the minority side, 94% of minority business have no employees. It's all run by a single person. Okay. You cannot build a sustaining business by yourself. It's not possible. It's never been done. You have to build an infrastructure, an operational support team to help you grow. Okay. So that's essentially, the historical context, why we decided this is a problem that is worth solving, okay, to help improve businesses.
Well, Tony, one of the things that I was excited about was the fact that when I heard your story, you and I met
Yeah.
when I was in Chicago.
Yeah.
It was late night. You were coming to Chicago. I was pretty tired. You came in, and we hit it off because you started talking about things that really matters to Black businesses and helping them to
Yeah.
scale up. And when I heard your story, I'm like, man, we need this because, even as a chamber, when we get ready to hire people, if I can reduce my cost by 90% and still get talented people, then, I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we did. We had a young lady that's going to come on the show and make a quick introduction about who she is and what she's doing with the chamber. And, it was just amazing to me that this service had been out there and that African Americans were not connected to it. Not only were they not connecting to it, but they were not connecting to Mother Africa. So people were doing things in Philippines, but they wasn't doing it in Africa. So when I decided to find someone, I had this incredible resume of the perfect person I wanted. They had to be a writer, they had to have a social media background, they had to have all these things. And I gave that to you, and you told me that you guys will take that information and then you will put it out in the system, and you then will bring 4 or 5 candidates that we will interview, and then you'll pick the best candidate. So walk us through that. Walk us through
Okay.
how it starts, and the comparison and cost too at the same time. 'Cause I think that's
Okay,
important.
very good. So I think it's also not it's also important to understand that there are many businesses that just can't afford to hire people here. Okay. And so, which means that they can scale their business. Okay. And so that's the problem we solve. We help people find employees from low cost economies, you know. Okay, so I want to mention that. So the way that we work, we built a platform that for which you give us your job requirements. You give us the personality that you're looking for. We take those things, put it into a job description, and then we put it out. And then once we have hundreds of resumes, then we have a bunch of AI that goes through and narrow down the resumes to about 10. Okay. And then once that happens, we also created an AI interviewer that does the initial interview using AI. It drills that down to about 7. Then we have a human that then talks to them. Okay. And then the human then narrows them down to about 3 or 4 that we put in front of a client. Okay. This entire process can happen in less than a week. So if you want to get somebody on your team within a week or 2 weeks, we can get you those people fairly quickly. It just depends on you, okay? Because we have a huge bench of people that are ready and skilled to work. So the process is very simple. What a benefit also is that everything is managed on our platform over at remoting.work. Everything is managed. You don't have to do anything. You pay the platform, and the platform manages everything, local taxes in the country. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. And we become the employer of record for that employee. That person comes to you, works, and help you execute your mission and your vision. Dedicated and consistently helping you do that every day of the week.
Hey Tony, do you have another cell? Do you have a cell phone or something else on? I think we are getting a little bit of echo from you. If you
That's what
have,
I thought.
okay, if you
Is
have
it possible for me to come? Let me get out of it and come back in. Can I do that?
no, but do you have another cell phone or something else that's on? Because that's where you're probably getting the
No, I
feedback.
don't.
Okay, so Dottie, are you aware of the technical problems that we have in there?
Yeah, I just text you. There is an echo, and it's coming from the beginning of the show. So what has happened? I mean, there's. I can go through the checklist here, but
Okay,
everything that I've gone through does not determine why the echo is today. So
okay,
I do
but we can still hear
apologize.
you very well, Tony.
Yeah.
We can still hear you very well, Tony. It's a little bit of echo, but it's
Got
not
you.
bad.
If I could jump
I
in
think
real quick.
the other question may be we're only hearing it from Tony.
No, I can hear it from you as well, Larry, in the
Oh,
beginning.
okay.
So that's why I was. If it was just Tony, I would just have him call in. But we have a caller waiting. But Lorenzo wants to jump in real quick.
Yeah, I just want to jump in real quick. I think what you're doing, Tony, is amazing because if for those people that are out there listening, even if you are a solopreneur, and a lot of solopreneurs have a part-time job, for insurance purposes, so they can have medical insurance and things like that. The thing I think we don't think about is that being able to have a staff or employees, it frees you up to go on vacations and things like that. Because see, when I was in my practice, one of the things that I noticed, a lot of people that came to see me, they were suffering from or dealing with what is referred to as job stress. And job stress tends to happen when you're overwhelmed, you know, at work or on the job. And that's something that comes with being a solopreneur when you're taking on all the burden of keeping your business up and running. So I guess my question for Tony would be, what do you do as far as educating people on the importance and the benefits of putting their business in a position to to have to start out having a small staff, and if you can all considered a good start as far as a staff member, especially if is your business only running in up and running in the mornings, or is it in the afternoons, or is it morning and afternoon, and what size staff do you structure or have in place to, I guess, to educate people on how they should start out with having a staff?
Wonderful. Thank you. So here's the thing. You don't hire for the work you have today. You hire for the work you need 3, 6 months down the line. It's almost like if you're a business owner, you don't get a loan for your business when you need it. You get it before you need it. Because if you need it, you may not be able to close in time. So the same thing with staff. Um, we tell people all the time, if your vision is to grow your business, it's very hard to do it yourself. I'll give you a statistic from the SBA. Essentially, most solopreneurs make less than $50,000 annually in terms of revenue. But most companies that have anywhere from 1 to 4 employees make somewhere around $400,000 a year. So essentially, eight times just by adding people to your team, which will help you, acquire clients, retain clients, which then grows your revenue. Okay, so it's you have to look at your business and you have to be serious. Am I a business owner or am I just a freelancer? Okay. Because if you want to build a business, you have to have a team to do it, if that makes sense. I just want to add that to that.
Yeah. Well, I want to get to this caller we have waiting. His name is Art. Art, welcome to the show. You are live. What you got for us?
Hey, what's going on, young people? How are you this morning?
Doing
Doing well,
swell-tastic,
Just
sir.
fine, Art.
Well, let me. I'm addressed it from black. I'm a black business owner, work in the black community. I've been doing it for over 35 years. The biggest problem that I see that we have in a small business, we don't have a workforce. So you can't grow something if you don't have a workforce because most of the people that you want to hire or can hire, they have all types of social issues and problems. That really kills the black business because we try to dip into our own network in our own community, and you don't have qualified people. And then when you try to qualify them, they have poor work ethics. So that takes a huge toll on your business. I really don't know many businessmen who have the opportunity and luxury to go on vacation and shut their business down or have their business running, especially in the a small business, even if you got 8 employees, it's almost virtually impossible because you just don't have a good workforce. And the business really cannot grow in the black community because you have broken families. Families support businesses. If you have broken family systems, you cannot support a business, especially in the black community under the offices that we work under. The other ethnicities are successful because they hire their own family and their families running their business and they working from a community code of conduct and a family value system. Our system, internal system, is broken. So I don't see how I'm dealing with it as we speak. We have poor, in most cases, lazy men and women who really don't want to put the effort in it and the desire. They want the money. They want you to pay them
Well,
for
wait,
to meet their
Art.
bills.
I'm
Yes,
gonna interrupt you because
sure.
that may be a problem, but what Tony is bringing is a solution. So if you think about it, if we are unable to hire within a local community, then we are able to afford an international community that can help us to have time to properly train those people or get the people that we need with the proper work ethic. Otherwise, Tony made a comment that said you don't want to hire for what you need right now. You want to hire for what you need down the line. But me having my own business and my own marketing background, I can tell you this. If you don't know all that you do in your business and you do every damn thing, then how can you expect someone to come in and help you? Not saying that what you're saying is not valid, But if you can get someone to come in and help with forwarding your business, and now you can focus on what it is that you actually do, then you can grow from within. This is
Absolutely.
a solution.
Now, now,
Yeah.
now, I
Thank
don't.
you. All right. Go ahead, Tony. Did you want to respond?
Yeah, I wanted to just add one thing for Art to say that, we understand, what you're saying. Okay. And that's why our solution gives you an alternative to hire people in Africa, for example. The same reason that all the big companies are doing. Okay. They also have the same challenge just as you. And so they're just looking for a new solution to solve the problem. And this solution that the Illinois Black Chamber State Chamber is bringing is to help you with that. And if you're interested, we can talk to you more. But this is a game changer, okay? If you really look at it, we understand. You're right. People don't want to work here, okay? But I'll tell you this: I go on vacation. Personally, I go on vacation. um, yes, you can stop walking. Okay, that's just, but I don't have to worry about it. Okay. So when I go on a cruise ship, yes, I may have some meetings. After that, I don't worry about it day to day because I have a team that manages all that stuff. Okay, we have about 50 people working on to help, with this stuff. So if you want some help in your staffing issue, if you want to position yourself like the companies you speak of, looking outside of the borders, to find somebody, you can get somebody as little as $6 an hour that's educated, experienced. We can help you with that. So just want to mention that.
I love it.
Yeah, that's pretty. Let me mention this, Tony. When you mentioned $6 an hour, I was looking at, you know, the young lady that we have recently hired. So we're going through the process. We're not going through the process. We're in the process. And I was so impressed with. We had four people, and it was interesting. All of them had incredible names: Favor, Mercy, Precious, and then there was one other name.
Was it
And
blessed?
we chose Favor
Yeah.
because Favor had favor with us. Okay, and and I want to introduce Favor because I think we may be getting an echo from Favor. Maybe if she has both
No,
of her.
so we can try something, Larry. You have your laptop open and you have speaker on and you don't have headphones, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, so I think that might be part of the problem. Is this how you join all the time?
Yes.
Exact same way.
Exact.
All right, guys, you just got to hear it twice. Okay,
Okay.
we got a caller. Hey,
And then we're going to
Favor.
bring Favor on right
Hey,
after that,
hey,
Madonna.
hey, Donna, thanks for taking my call.
Of
Good morning
course.
to the WVON and
Morning.
everyone. Hey, there's a couple of things I want to say real quick, LaDonna.
Yeah.
The earlier part, I think last year you had that thing. I missed that 3-day event where you was helping people with AI, and you had Taylor Electric and all the black businesses there to help people who have a business or want to start a business. When are you gonna have that again?
So earlier last year, I was part of the mixer that Mary Datcher had, but we can talk about that off. Why don't you send me an email?
Yeah.
Send me an email, LaDonna at
Okay.
WVON.com.
Okay, I'll do that.
All right.
Something else I want to say. I want you to help me with that because I know you're good with the AI and the marketing. Because I'm trying to start a production company.
Okay.
And it was interesting who you was talking about. Was Tony talking about him or one of the other gentlemen, Larry, about the Nicholas brothers?
Okay.
Yes.
Larry, yeah, we were talking about that. Absolutely.
So I just want to say something about that also. Is that they were the greatest dance performers that ever lived, over Gene Kelly and Fred Astaire and anybody else before them. But they never got the credit. And if you ever look at the movie Stormy Weather, and The Greatest Show, it'll tell you everything you need to know. When you get a chance, look at Stormy Weather. When they did that greatest performance, unbelievable, that you wouldn't even believe it if you saw it with your own eyes, what they did. And Sammy Davis Jr. and his father and uncle, if you didn't know, years ago, they were break dancers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, look on YouTube. You'll see Sammy Davis Jr., his father, and his uncle had their own show, their own production. And Sammy Davis was breakdancing. Like you see the kids do in the 70s, they were doing that way back in the 50s. You know, and the moonwalk and all that was back way back, 40s and 50s.
Well, thank you, David. Thank you so much.
And one more last thing I want to say is that, before I lose my thought, the Four Step Brothers from the 1925 that did a performance in the 1950s on the Ed Sullivan Show. They called them the Four Step Brothers. They were a tap dance and an acrobatic act. Never got the credit. Look at that too. I'm just showing you how the greatness of that you never see on TV or never heard about probably in your history.
Right.
But I want you to check that out when you get a chance.
We'll do.
And
Tony.
I'll send my email to you because I need to get with you so you can help me with this.
David, I'm gonna interrupt you. We only got so much time. We love you. Thank you so much. I'll be looking for your email. All right. We're gonna we got another caller, but I'm gonna go ahead. Larry, if you don't mind, the reason why I want to take this call is because I want to make sure Favor's camera is in our view. So we're gonna grab the next caller, okay?
Okay.
Hey Michael, welcome to the show. What you got?
Hi, good morning. First, I'd like to, the Nicholas brothers, Lena Horne. If we know our history, we know that a lot of black folks or colored people, Negroes, all of the names that we have been called, they used to cut out anything that was associated with us in the majority of the South in terms of movies. With that, that's a small piece of knowledge. But Gloria Marshall, she's the attorney.
Yeah.
Gloria Marshall, she wrote a book called The Protest History of the United States. Some of you guys may want to read that so that you'll know we've been down this road before. And I would like, if possible, if you could give out your website address, because I think that everybody that calls you should be able to join your organization.
I agree, Michael O'Connor. Now we're talking. Thank you so much for calling, Michael. And add to his point, our website is ilbcc.org. And if you want to become a member, which I know you do, go ahead and click on membership or join. You'll see those two opportunities to become part of the organization. As promised, I want to give you an opportunity, Tony, to introduce us to this lovely young lady who has joined our family of the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce and gotten us a lot of help. Because as I know, that an organization as big as the chamber can be an undertaking, and she has come on board and made Larry smile. So, Tony, I want to give you the opportunity to introduce Favor.
Yeah, so Favor was even interviewed by your team, among other four people, and she was selected. Wonderful young lady, very intelligent, very smart, and you know, I look forward, to even more stories being told um, about the contribution she will make. And I'll tell you this: a lot of businesses that we work with, it's like they're just freaking, amazing when they hire that first person, how it frees them up. But I'll let Favor say a few words. And also, that I want to talk on something after that also. Piggyback on some of the comments.
Of course. Hi, Favor. Welcome.
Hi, thank you.
Thank you
Good
for
morning,
joining us.
everyone.
Good morning. So, how has it been working with our organization? Obviously, you have this type of background, but before you answer my question, please tell us in your own words who Favor is.
Okay, so Favor is I'm from Nigeria and I studied economics and education. I'm also a certified virtual assistant and I have over 2 years experience. I've once worked as a business development manager and then as executive assistant.
Oh, so you understand the high demand of business and when it needs to get done, not today, but yesterday.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Well, what
Absolutely.
makes our organization I want to is it fun to work? I don't want to say fun, but what makes our organization a good fit for you?
So for me, I would say nothing prepares me in life for growth than being in a challenging environment where you have a supportive team. So for me, I am really excited being in this team because every day I have my team members that wake up and say, "Oh, favor, we have this to put up. Can you help us? We have this to do, and we have this to do." And then they are not leaving you. You could always reach out to them if you've talked with any of them. So that's one exciting thing about it.
Yeah.
Larry?
Well, one of the things I favor that she's working on with us, Ladonna, into the team, we're building a database with maybe close to 20,000 people. She's working on a database. She's also working on a number of other strategic issues, and she works 40 hours a week from 9 o'clock until 4 o'clock. And she's on call for us. She works in a controlled environment, and she's very focused. I mean, very talented. She's helping to do all our social media. At the same time, she's involved in our projects, the upcoming events, in terms of helping us to make sure we stay focused and get the things done. And we're adding more and more things to her on her list. We don't want to overwhelm her, but we are leveraging it. And if I had to pay for someone with her background, I really couldn't afford it. We wouldn't be in the position to do what we're doing now. And the chamber is probably going to end up hiring 3 or 4 people, just like Faber, in different disciplines, because 40 hours a week, I mean, I'm running, as you know, Ladonna, nonstop. And I need, like Dr. Sterling said, the president CEO should be focused on making it rain
Yeah.
and making sure everybody understands the mission. But if they solopreneur or a small organization, sometimes you can have so many things you're doing and then you're not overly effective. So this is really going to allow us to kind of grow, focus on the revenues, and really have a very talented person that is committed to us and that will help us to grow. And so I love what Favor is doing. I love her commitment. We track what she does at the same time. So it's a phenomenal piece. It's already an enormous asset to us, Favor. And I want to thank her for being a part of the team.
I want to slide in on some. I got some questions for you, Larry, because there are many businesses out there that just don't know what they would do if someone were to show up at their door and say, "Look, I want to help you." So, how is it that? How did you gather? How were you able to delegate to Favor what you needed done in your organization?
Well, we had priorities that we had been working on and had not accomplished. Um, I talked to my assistant, Mara, and the rest of the team, and Donna yourself, Universal, and we had a list of things that we wanted to have done. And we took a look at Faber's background. We asked her very specific questions about social media, about writing skills, about all the things we need, data entry, the whole gambit. And she was able to knock it out of the park. And I think, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to find more things that she's going to be doing. She's going to be following up with membership, with different people, making sure that we're getting our newsletters out and things like that. So we got a lot of things I think will be beneficial to our organization. We hope to hire plenty more people. But more importantly, we want to offer this to our employees. Now, what I'm excited about too is that due to Tony, there is someone has a lot of feedback. Due to Tony, um, has a grant program that we're going to talk about later on. So I'm going to yield, turn it back to Tony. Favor, you got any closing comments? Then we're going to let you go.
Okay.
Favor, do you have any closing comments, and then we can let you go? Oh, unmute yourself.
Not at the moment.
Okay.
So,
Well, we definitely want to thank Favor for being on the line with us. Go ahead and have a great weekend, Miss Favor. And Larry, I'm going to turn it back over to you, and I think you're going to have Tony come on. All right. Bye, Favor.
Hey, Tony, back to you.
Yeah. You know, I want to mention something, just echo some of what you've said. So like the chamber in Memphis, the Black Chamber in Memphis, they came to us 2 years ago, after the pandemic. They just didn't have the money to grow their chamber, but they knew they needed a membership person, someone that wakes up every day to push out marketing content to help get people to come back on. So they came to us, they hired somebody, so they have a marketing person, and this person sits in Nigeria. 6 months later, they came to us, they wanted a marketing person because they need to. So they hired somebody from South Africa. So this is what we see oftentimes when businesses, hire the first person, they realize the value and then they keep adding. I want to add something about the conversations that you guys were having about culture and systems, which is really what you were talking about. You were saying that there was a culture at that time and there was a system at that time. Okay. And systems are one of those things. Let me see. Is something wrong? Uh,
No.
Nope, you're good.
oh, okay. Okay. So systems are one of those things that is always around, but you don't know it exists. For example, rock and roll could have started, in the 20s and the 30s. Rock and roll was Black folks were doing rock and roll back then in the South, okay? But because the system didn't allow that, okay, and there was no way for that to spread, it didn't happen. But go forward back, to the 60s and 70s, when, Colombia, had put together like a system for which kids could listen to that kind of music and not have to sit in front of the TV and watch the same thing that their parents watch. That broke the system. And so now rock and roll blossom. Rap and hip hop. If MTV did not exist, because at that time, the radio stations had a system that prevents people of color from doing certain things. So where am I going here? Every culture has a system, okay? And what we have to do is find a way to change systems to do the good work that we're trying to do. Give you an example. So, the caller that called about, oh, there's a lot of people here in the US that that don't want to work. Okay, you don't stop there. You look for a different system to help you solve that. And so that's sort of what we bring. We're giving you a system, a way to hire, a secure way to hire globally. Okay, all your data resides in the US, so you're not nothing is moving overseas. Just your people will be overseas. So we're giving you the same thing that all the big companies are already doing, if that makes sense. All the huge companies are doing this, okay? And they've been doing this for 40, 50 years. This is just the first time that it's become easy for just the regular businesses to be able to tap into it. So you can't change systems. It's very hard, but you can take the first step, because if you have good work, if you have meaningful work, that you believe that people will miss if you don't do it. Okay. If you have a business that, you believe people need to know about,
Yeah.
and if you stop doing, people will miss. You need to find a way to get that done. Okay. And we can help you with that.
I love it. Let's
Okay.
go ahead and grab a caller real quick. We only have like 4 minutes left in the show. Donald, you're live. What you got for us?
Yeah, briefly, I want to thank Larry for bringing the gentleman in this morning. I think the system is a great system for businesses. I heard the caller about workers not want to work, but when you are operating a business, you need technical people. And I think the advantage to the system that he has, that Tony has, is that it will allow you to bring in other people after you set up this system that's working. And how do you, if you want to be involved in it or use Tony's system, what is the information that we can contact?
I love it. I love it. And I know that we have a link, right? We have our link. It's remote.work /ILBCC.org. Correct, Tony?
Hold on, let me send that to you so you could post it. It's actually, I'll send it to you right now. So I
Okay.
don't.
Thank you very much. And while he does that, I want to
Okay.
make sure that everybody knows that you can. Well, we don't have much time to take any more calls. I'm sorry if we didn't get to you, but go to ilbcc.org and make sure that you hit the join or the membership link so that you can become part of this great movement. I'm gonna look in my text message to see what you sent me,
Yes,
and I'll
I
put it in
just
the
sent it to you.
comments. And along with that, we'll go ahead and oh yeah, here it is. Go dot remote. I'm sorry, remoting. There's something in the way here.
Dot
Go
work.
dot remoting dot work /ILBCC. So I'm gonna put that in the comments, guys, so that you'll have it forever and a day. And make sure you go to that link, and we'll link it on our website as well.
Hey, Tony, let me just say this too, that what you're offering is important to us because we're challenged to help Black businesses grow. You have, and I love what you said about systems. The systems were not designed for us to participate. We must evolve and create a system that will allow us to grow and prosper. This is so incredible from my perspective that when small companies, I know I talked to Dr. Blakely, we're looking at hiring someone together. She's a CPA, and she just really needs help. Donald Patterson, who was just on the phone, he's a Larry. I need to talk to him because I need some people. And so I'm excited for us to launch this.
So do I.
My colleagues in Alabama, New Jersey, New York have been excited about this also. Some of them are listening in, I think, because they told me they were going to be listening in. So we're excited that we get a chance for Donna into the rest of the team, into our listening audience, to bring something to you that I think could change your life. And you want game changers. You want to be around people. You want to be around things that help you take your business to the next level. This does that. I'm proud of the partnership that we have. I'm glad that Chuck DeBow, the president of the National Black Chamber of Commerce, told you to come and see me. And I'm looking forward to bigger and greater things, Tony.
I love it. We only have a minute,
Thank you.
less than that actually. But I want to take this time and thank Tony for coming on, Lorenzo with your new historical facts, and we want to thank Favor for coming on. And some people said they heard some noise. Guess what? It's the weekend. Okay, so it sounds like they might have been building a house. Give them some grace, okay? But we really want to thank you guys for coming on, and thank you to our callers for calling in. Guys, get those phone lines lit up each and every Saturday because we're here every Saturday on WVON 1690. And we especially want to thank Wind Creek Chicago Southland for sponsoring this show. If it weren't for them, well, we'd have to pay for it ourselves. There you go. So thank you, Larry, for allowing me to co host with you. This is such an honor. But I want to remind everyone to subscribe on YouTube. Those subscriptions, we need them. So hit subscribe so that you know that our show is going live, and make sure that you go to ilbcc.org and share this show. Keep sharing it because we're sharing information. That's all we got. Anybody else? Because I got to go.
Teaching is repeating until learning.
Hey, have a great day. Enjoy the weekend.
All right, guys. See you Monday on the afternoon show. My birthday is Tuesday. Bye bye for now.
Get ready to wake up to the pulse of progress as we amplify voices, break barriers, and illuminate the path towards a more inclusive tomorrow. Follow us across the socials at The Wake Up Show Chicago. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. It's The Wake Up Show every Saturday morning at 9, where change begins with every sunrise. Welcome to The Wake Up Show Chicago. The talk of Chicago is 1690 WVON, Berwyn, Chicago.
This Valentine's will be filled with laughter. Saturday, February 14th in the auditorium, featuring the side-splitting comedy of Sher Underwood.
Don't say against your man mama. These men love they mama. Even if he ain't never met this, he love his mama.
With J. Anthony Brown, Michael Collier.
These 4 potatoes was out dancing. How could you tell which one was kind of loose? One of them kept saying, Idaho, Idaho.
Plus George Wilborn.
Because women say that all the time. Be honest with me. Do I look fat in this dress? Did you look fat out the dress?
And Rodman.
Supervisor called me in the office.